Hey family, welcome back. I'm back at again with another video. Today, I'm going to be talking about generational curses. Y'all, that last video about being aware of witches went really well, surprisingly. And I'm just so happy that people are aware of what's going on in the spiritual realm. I noticed that it's from your bloodline. So it's really much bigger than you. And y'all, it's a spirit. And it's so funny because a lot of people feel like their close families are like against them, and those be the ones who want to see you fail. And it's not them, it's the devil. So the devil will try to enter anyone who is close to you to, I don't want to say destroy you, but yeah, sometimes traumatic as like killing you. But the devil would use someone close to you to stop God's will for your life. So that's why people who are like getting close to God on their spiritual journeys, like we have a lot of things being thrown at us. Like life gets harder, and we feel like, because we're walking with God, that things are supposed to get easier, but it really gets harder. And that's because we're getting closer to God and we're getting closer to our destiny. So the enemy will use those obstacles to try to make us give up. But y'all, I notice when things start getting very hard for you, that just means that something good is on the way. Like your breakthrough is close, is nearby, and it's getting harder because the enemy does not want you to get your breakthrough. So that's why I have so much like peace with it, because I know that I'm getting closer. That's all that means, is that I'm getting closer. And I just want to encourage anybody that's going through it and y'all feel like God turned his back on you, just know all of that is a part of his plan. And even if it's not, he's going to turn it around for your good. So anything that the devil try to plan against you, God is going to turn that thing around. So just be mindful of that. And sometimes every bad thing is not of the enemy. So when bad things happen, it could be God teaching you something, like trying to teach you something. So always look at the lessons and everything that you go through in life, because it's I'm telling you, like, you ever been through something and you got through it, and then it comes up again in your life and you're like, oh, I'm not gonna do that anymore because I know where that got me the last time. So when you know better, you do better. So I really want to talk about these generational curses, because I myself am like dealing with generational curses. Everybody family have generational curses. It's just inevitable. So me in particular, it's a spirit of poverty, it's a spirit of procrastination, it's a spirit of envy. Like, it's a spirit, it's like a whole bunch of spirits. And I've been like praying and fasting. Like, when you do this fasting, you have to like pray for your bloodline, for everybody. It's not just about you. And I noticed like the same spiritual battles that I'm dealing with right now, my mom was dealing with, and the enemy got to her. Like, I feel like she couldn't take it because it was too much on her. So, whew, it's so sad. Like, it's so real, y'all. And I'm trying to get God to give me the right words to say, because this is like, it's like, if you know, like, everybody's not gonna understand what I'm saying, but yeah, I'm fighting the same spiritual battles that my mom faced, and it's hard. Like, it's hard when you have your own family members coming against you because that spirit is so strong. And I know this is what she was going through. Like, family that she thought was, you know, yeah, I don't want to cry, but yeah, family were coming up against her. My mom was the sweetest person, so kind. Like, she was just like me. And it's so funny, like, how I'm like a reincarnation of her, kinda, in a way. Like, but just to know, like, what she was facing. Now that I'm older and I'm seeing everything clearly, like, I know this wasn't easy for her because it's not easy for me. You really got to be strong-minded to deal with these spiritual battles, especially when you're aware of them. Like, some people, they try to, try to escape it. That's why a lot of people are smoking weed, they're doing drugs, they're taking pills. A lot of people are alcoholics because they don't want to face that. They don't want to face reality. They don't want to face them demons in their head. They don't want to face it. And it's like, at the end of the day, when that stuff wear off, you're still gonna have to live with yourself. You're still gonna have to, that shit is going to follow you everywhere you go. So you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it. And I never got a chance to hear my mom's story. Like, I never got a chance to ask her what happened. Like, how did she end up on drugs? Like, was it a man? Like, from my knowledge, I believe she was dealing with the man and he introduced her to drugs, and that's how she got hooked. And if anybody knows, like, once you try a drug, once you get it in your system, it's over. Like, it's gonna be really hard for you to break that habit. So yeah, so my mom got hooked on drugs, and she's just never been the same since. Like, she was still very aware of everything that was going on. Like, even as a kid, my mom used to tell me, y'all, like, my mom would tell me, you're such a sweetheart, like, please don't let people take advantage of you. And she used to tell me that my aunt was jealous of me as a kid, y'all. I had no clue. I thought she was crazy. I did not know what was going on. Like, and now I can say, like, everything she warned me about, everything she said, she was right. But it is a generational curse, and that's a part of the reason why I had to move away, because that spirit was after me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, since I've been out here, this is the closest I have been to God, and he's just showing me so many things. Like, the first time I had an encounter with God, I was at my lowest in my life. I did tell myself I wasn't going to talk about my past anymore, but just for the sake of this video, I'm going to, talk about the things that I overcame. So it was 2020. I was at the lowest. This was like 3 months before the pandemic. I had moved in with my ex-boyfriend, and I felt like my ex was possessed with the spirit, and it was a bad spirit. And I feel like that was the same spirit that I was trying to get away from, that was on my aunt. So once he got that spirit on him, I was just like so uneasy. Like, I just left and went back to my aunt, and I was just dealing with the same thing all over again. It was like I was trying to run, and like, it was still there. So I had to do some real spiritual work. I was reading my Bible, y'all. I kid you not. Like, I was doing all the right things. And as soon as God blessed me, I forgot about him. I'm not gonna lie, like I was so lost and into worldly things, and I started dating again, and I get distracted easily. So, but I'm glad that I did go through those things, because now that I'm out here, 7 months, I've been to myself. I haven't been dating. I've been getting closer to God. Like, I'm growing in my faith. Like, this is the most peace I've ever had in my life, and I don't want to cry, but this is the most peace I've ever had in my life, even though I am struggling. Well, I was struggling. I'm going to speak life into my situation. I'm going to speak life into myself. I'm going through a lot of things, like car accidents and all of that I told y'all about since I've been out here. But this is the most peace I've ever had in my life.